Welcome back to The Forge. We're looking at the sayings in the 6th 18, and money is the next theme that we'll be looking at. Now, there's an unusual pattern that runs through the 6th 18, and that's explained in the book Evolution. So it is 6.3 and 6.8, which are the two sayings that are connected to money. So let's read those out and then we'll pull them apart. 6.3. If you have money, do not lend it at interest, but give it to those for whom you will not take it back. 6.8. They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, Caesar's officials demand taxes from us. He said to them, give what is Caesar's to Caesar, give what is God's to God, and give to me what is mine. What we're being asked to think about here is the role of money and the control that it has over our lives in many, many ways. It is the view that we have on money, which may have come from our upbringing. It may have come from our interactions with the world. It certainly has something to do with work and your livelihood. And there is this fascinating word, living, that is introduced to us in the Gospel of Thomas, where we can see that living is not only life itself, but it is exactly the same word, living, that we use to describe what we do as work. And you will have all been in that situation where somebody says, what is it you do for a living? What they're asking about is what you do for work. But actually it's the same word, living as in being alive and living being work. These two things have somehow meshed into one single thing. It tells us that do not lend money at interest, give it to those who are not bound to give it back. There's all kinds of things that happen around money that we need to examine. Those sometimes unspoken contracts or bonds that we have. Somebody gives you some money and we feel compelled to give them something back. We are somehow in their debt. There is an IOU, spoken of or not. It is those subtle power and control programs that we need to think about. Now, the world runs on money. Economics means power and wealth and control. It's an extraordinary thing that we have created as human beings, but it exerts this influence over all of us. It's probably one of the most influential devices that we have created as people. 6.8, Jesus is presented with a coin, and the followers say to him, there's a demand for us to pay tax. Jesus says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Pay your taxes and get on with things. There is a physical world that we live in that we are bound to currently. And in order to live within that system, we need to pay for things. So there is a practicality which is being put to us. Yeah, this is how it is. Get on with it. Give what is God's to God, and give me what is mine. God here is a word that isn't used within the rest of the Thomas document. When God is used, it's being referred to as the God that is worshipped, the God that needs sacrifice, the God that needs us to perform rituals to it, to keep it happy, to keep it on our side. That's the God that he's referring to. And then he says, give me what is mine. Well, we've been introduced to that before with the yoke and the lordship. Give me what is mine. That is your attention. That is you following the path. That is you knowing that there is a non-physical dimension, the living spirit and this global consciousness that is moving you towards union. Union takes you to this state of consciousness and the revelation of the living consciousness that you are immersed in. It wants nothing else from you other than to see that you are opening up to the possibilities that you are more than you appear. It is the what you are that this consciousness is asking you to discover. Fascinating. Give to me what is mine. That is the non-physical knowledge and awareness that you discover. It is your interaction with that consciousness, the twinning that is part of this process. Now, fascinatingly, in the Bible, we have Mark 12:14-17. And it has this saying. The interesting thing about the saying in Mark is that it doesn't have the end. It doesn't have Jesus saying, give to me what is mine. So it finishes with, give the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and God the things that are God's. There's no reference to Jesus at the end. So what that presents you with are the two authorities that you are bonded to. Caesar, the emperor, the politics, the world system, and God as the religion that needs to be appeased, that needs to be worshipped. Those are the two things that it gives to you. What Jesus is looking to give you isn't part of that saying. It's a really fascinating change in the script there. So money, the theme that we are presented with, your views, beliefs, ideas, thoughts on money and how it governs and controls not only you, but the entire world that you live in.